Hi everyone, I'm Elizabeth Djuulume and welcome to Patriotism with Elizabeth, a place where we showcase the work of young people, young patriots that are contributing to the Africa that we want, and just those also celebrating their achievements and embracing their challenges and failures in life. And today we had joined by a guest speaker. His name is Mathew, who is a young patriot, a young public speaker, and today we are going to dive into his journey into how he came about to become a public speaker. So let's dive right into the story. So hi Mathew, thank you for joining us.
Hi Sandy. This is nice.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us at Patriotism with Elizabeth. So we are happy to have you. So how are you?
No, I'm feeling good. I'm at peace. I'm in a good mood, and most importantly, I'm excited to be here. Not to have a conversation with you on my journey, but yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Okay, so you are a public speaker and like at such a young age and everything. So maybe can you just give us a brief introduction of who you are? Who is Mathew? Just for our audience to know who you are first.
All right. Hi everyone. Hi. My name is Mathew. I'm 22 years old. Born and raised in the capital. So who I am, it's quite hard to quite say who I am without really attaching things that I do, my past and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we can just start off by saying that I'm a student at the College of the Arts, studying media studies, and my major is in radio production. So far, the journey is amazing. So much growth that is happening there, and as you said, I am a public speaker. So I got trained and I got certified as a certified communicator from Toastmasters International, and I'm also a member of the Professional Speakers Association of Namibia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. At the age of 22. Okay, so have you always wanted to be a public speaker, like from growing up, like, or is it just something that you developed to like when you grew up, like at maybe at this later stage on?
Yeah. I won't really say it's something that I've been wanting to do growing up, but I would say that I have seen the potential in me. I have seen the traits of a good public speaker from an early age. I mean, I recall vividly when it was in grade 7, we were having English, and back then our English teacher was Miss Indongo. You know, oh sorry, I went to Bethel. Okay, I see where I went wrong.
Okay.
So my education, primary school started at Bethel Himimene Primary School. It's in Katutura, and then from there I went to Acacia High School. So yeah, so that's when I matriculated and came to the college and stuff like that. So now we're in the English class, and there was this thing where like you had to read, stand up and read for the whole class.
Oh,
yeah. So I always looked forward for that. I always look forward to reading in front of everyone. Yeah, and also remember as well. So even in high school, I would always talk with the principal and the life skills teacher for me to get a platform or chance at the assembly point to say a prayer or to share scripture and stuff like that. So eventually I would say that there is a potential of me becoming a public speaker. So also in high school, I think most of this potential came into realization when I was in high school, when I was involved in extracurricular activities. I was part of the Interact Club. And then I was elected as the public relations officer, because apparently I was the announcement guy. So I would always make announcements and
So
be
you were
the
really like kind of outspoken.
Yeah, I've been outspoken. So I joined these organizations and I was always the one doing most of the talking when it comes to speaking on behalf of the organization. I also joined NANSO, where I served in the Commerce Regional Executive Committee. So this is when I was selected as the ICT officer.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly about ICT, like technical stuff, but it was more of the face or the brand, the face of the organization. So I would always do the announcements and stuff like that. So and also now most of it again came that most of this talent of the realization also came from church. So in our church we have what you call Night of Praise. So this is basically where it's an event that happens every end of the year, where we have different churches who come together and then we just praise, we sing songs and worship songs and stuff like that. So the first Night of Praise, I was asked to be the MC. So I was like, okay, I've never MC'd the church before. Because it's quite, even cultural wise, it's a bit different.
Yeah,
you know, emceeing a church and emceeing outside church is a whole different A game.
Exactly.
So even her, I can't say like, yo, what's up, people? So I can't say, yo, what's up, people? But again, all this also came through church and stuff like that. So I mean, but just these small activities that you feel like, I'm really good at this, eh? And then people also come to, you are really good at this. In the long run, it is called, you start believing yourself, you know what, I'm really good in this. So this is when I like, okay, I'm really good at this thing, but I'm not skilled, you know.
Yeah.
So I had to go under training. I had to join Toastmasters. So if you allow me, I'll also share how I joined Toastmasters. Yeah. So this all started in 2016. So in 2016, I was at the end of the year, end of my term rather, where I served as the project manager of the City of Windhoek Junior Council. Oh. Yeah, so I was part of the JCs. There's so many things I skipped. Okay, let's start from scratch. Okay. Let's start from scratch. Let me give you the whole structure now. Okay. So grade 7. In grade 7, I was a deputy head boy, but I was kind of naughty. I was one of those naughty kids, but they were quite smart. So I was quite naughty in grade 7, and then we had an organization, a platform, Lifeline Childline had a program where we got trained and taught about different people of abuse and stuff like that. So through that, that's when you start developing. I developed myself, and then we got more like a scholar. So in grade 7 in Windhoek, you more like, okay, people are paying at academia, Windhoek High School, all these top schools, So I also applied, and then my last school teacher in grade 7, Miss Usura back then, like told me, no, Matthews, we have selected to go attend 3 years at Akasa High School without paying any school fees because smart kids.
3 years?
Yeah, for 3 years. For like a scholarship, So my mom was like, you know what? These schools will be paying thousands and thousands of dollars which you do not have. So go to this school and then attend 3 years, and then that's like grade 8 to 9, grade 8 to 10, I mean. So after grade 10, that's like senior year, so I can go to another school. Like a good deal. So grade 8 came, I went to Acacia High School. The school back then was like black and white. So my friends were always big fun of you could then it's going to a funeral. Because like during winter, during winter like a whole black attire, like black jerseys, white t-shirt and black trousers. I put it like a funeral service, So I hated going to school because of that reason.
Because of the uniform.
Because of the uniform, So fast forward, through that, I'd always engage in activities at school, whatever. I remember there was it's not the Red Cross. There was Star for Life. Star for Life would come along, they would do activities and I also partake in them as well. So then grade 10 came. So in grade 10, our English teacher back then, Miss Munda, said that that's my friend and I, Samuel. Because someone who used to hang more like high school buddies. So we used to hang together, and someone was like, you know what, Matthews, Miss Munda, the two of you were nominated to represent the school at the City of Windhoek Junior Council. So only one person can be selected. So the teachers
from your school?
No, like from the two of us.
From
someone and I. So only one person can be selected.
And you guys are friends.
And we are friends, So everybody wants a shot, everybody wants a shot. So when that City of Windhoek, because it's a big deal. So I prayed about it, So after a while, I was like, no, you are elected to represent the school in the City of Windhoek Junior Council. So in the Junior Council, now this is also where part of my development also happened, where the City of Windhoek Junior Council is like different high schools, like we have state schools and private schools who all come together. So schools from the former settlements are all represented. So we'll make decisions, we have like activities that had to like improve our communities, So back then these are like kids and speaking English on like I'm like, yo, this is not for me. So in situations like that, and like I also started learning and improving as well. So also from that, I also made friends from other schools, and I see how these kids are studying, how they talk, what they talk about, these guys were talking about girls and cars. They're like the future, bruh. I remember there was a guy I met. We are good friends now. His name is Tino. Tino, I forgot it's a long name. It's Tino Glovo. So Tino is from Czechov Marengo, but now he's I think he's doing IT at NAST. And he's a whole programmer now. So Tino began to talk about history and just things I never used to be interested in. So when these guys are talking, I'm like, yo, I'm in my space because I can't relate. I didn't have the knowledge these guys were talking about. So through that I started listening, and then what I listened to I also could talk about my friends in school. But these guys also did not know what I'm talking about. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, just used to talking about girls and cars.
So the balance was not there at all. But eventually the growth started happening. I would listen, I would read more. And also through that I also made an acquaintance, Davy Roy. Davy was the head boy of Windhoek High School back then, you know. So now we were invited to go attend so more like all I don't know if it was all LRC from high schools were invited to go attend this event at Windhoek High School, where the mother was talking about the power of the human mind, you know. And then, okay, what's this like foreign language? Like, I have no idea what they're talking about. So I sat down and I could just hear and listen what people are talking about. And they mentioned about there was a book they mentioned, The Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. So I'm like, okay, this is new. So I went to go search about it, and then I read. I don't know, but I ended up having a copy of that book. I can't remember where exactly I got the book, but I know I ended up having a copy of the book. Eventually, you know, started playing with my mind, you know, trying to upgrade how I see myself and how I think and stuff like that. So in the process, you know, growth just started happening. So from reading one book, it led to another book, and then eventually my mind started opening up. In the process, my vocabulary also improved as well. So now in 2016, now so I was now in 2015, 2016 came. We were elected to we had to campaign to become part of the executive committee of the junior council. So my just like like top schools, and I was like really insecure and stuff. So like let me draw back, you know. But anyway, I shot my shot. So I ended up being elected as a project manager, and like, oh, these are like new vibes. Okay. So yeah. So in the process then the junior council was invited to go attend Young Achievers. Back then, that's how I came to know about Young Achievers, is that Young Achievers had a climate change workshop. So we were invited to attend this workshop. And then from there, I think I met Shoki and Fikas.
Oh, those years.
Yeah, no. So they had like those green YA t-shirts.
Oh, yeah. And that time, when they going to school, with already like done.
I don't know. The workshop was hosted in the youth complex. Oh. Yes, I don't know whether or not they were down in school. All I know is that Young Achievers invited us, and we were there. Oh, this is actually cool. I like what you're thinking about. So I was like, you know what? I want to join this. I'll go Shoki's number.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to join Young Achievers. I didn't know, so like Shoki. Okay, I didn't know his name about Shoki. I used to call him Chico.
Shoki and Chico.
So I keep forgetting Shoki, so I'll call him Chico. So yeah, so like no, the meetings are on Saturday, and I still remember my first YA meeting. It was at the Parliament Gardens. Okay, it was like a whole picnic situation. People bought food. That's where
so it was kind of an outdoor meeting.
Yeah, it was an outdoor meeting. It was an outdoor meeting. Yeah, so we bought food, and we said, and they were introducing one another. Hi, my name is Ho, and my vision is yo, brah. People want to be doctors, engineers. I didn't know what to become, you know. And
I think like probably that time it's not even like have a vision.
Yeah, no. That time I think in high school for me was just to do because everybody else was doing. And again, my friend Samuel was doing accounting, and I was like, and I was thinking about being a CA. Yeah. For me, I didn't know the passion, but I enjoyed the conversations. So I also go, you know what? I also want to be a CA. That was grade 10, you know. And then eventually I was like, I'm more into science, you know. I am more into science. I had my good friends, there was Adolf and Andrea Shikongo. These guys really also helped me to also expand my vocabulary. Also, these guys also helped me to just be a better version of who I am again. Also, I also have to give credit as well to the guys I was with in high school. My English teacher, Miss Munda as well. Oh my gosh, Miss Munda really, she was my English teacher, right? So back then, like when I left, we didn't have higher level. We had extinct and co, more like ordinary level.
Yeah.
So Miss Munda will always put like go do extended. I'm like, Miss, this is too much, like I don't understand. And like, I would feel an English test, she would be so mad at me.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why like I cannot fail. So yeah, so that happened. So I have to give credit to these guys as well. And Miss Kambuze was our accounting teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she also really influenced who I am today as well. So you see, there's so many things I have to add the puzzles together. So yeah, now I forgot. So Andreas, these guys helped me to improve my vocabulary with Tim Adolf as well. So yeah, so Young Achievers now, so I was just doing because everybody was just doing the field. So grade 11 came, I ended doing science and someone left to another high school. So yeah, so I joined Young Achievers and then I was like, I'm really good in public speaking. So when they say what's your vision, I was like, my vision is to be a public speaker. So yeah, my vision is to be a public speaker. So I remember and then we had the career fair that year. So like I think I can't remember. I think it was Ficus and Loboski. This guy just put me on the spot, but Mathew must be the MC at the career fair. I'm like, wait, what? You guys are too fast. And then no, they asked to deliver a keynote, like a welcoming speech. Yeah. I'm like, no guys, you guys are being too much, but this is way too fast.
And it's like maybe different schools that came.
Yeah, they're like different schools from Kachituru actually came. I remember like different. My school was also there, but I was going to be a speaker. I was part of the learners when I went there. I don't know what I was gonna do. So yeah, so that happened, and then I started delivering the speech. I was like, okay, I'm really good at this. So in that year, Young Achievers invited like the same Shivute. So the same Shivute back then, but at the time when I met him, he was the deputy president of the Professional Speakers Association of Namibia. So he was like, my name is Sam. When I met, like for the guys who know the same Shivute, you know, he's always wearing a suit and very uptight and, you know, confident, and he's also called like, my name is Sam Shivute and I'm the deputy president. And for me, I was impressed. I couldn't help myself. I was impressed. I was like, yeah, I wanna be there. You know, I wanna be there. So at the end of the meeting, I want to the same. My name is Mathew, you know. I want to be a public speaker as well. And the same, he had like a small notebook where he took my name and my email address and my cell phone number. And I was like, Mathew, I will be in touch with you. But weeks passed. I don't say never called. Weeks passed. So until one Thursday, so I think it's a Thursday evening, I was coming from school. And I was coming from school, and I got a call from the same when I got home. I'm like, hi. I said, hi, Mathew, to the same Shivute. We have a PISAN meeting today. So PISAN stood for the professional speakers. Yeah. So like a PISAN meeting today, and starting at 6 at Lemon Tree Restaurant. Can you be there? I'm like, yeah. I don't know what the restaurant was. I was like, you know, I'm going to be there. So I took out my smartphone and searched Lemon Tree Restaurant, and I just clicked it in town, you know. And then I had to convince my mom for me to go to sleep. So I was like, ma'am, the son she would call me, because she knows the same, and the son she would call me, and he invited me to attend the meeting with him. Okay, cool. So I attended the meeting. So the meeting this is like professional speakers. My dad was still in my uniform.
Your school uniform.
Yeah. I was still in my school uniform, and I was like at this restaurant, and then I was sitting. So I went there early, so I took the front seats. So my goal was to sit in front, so that when he comes, he will see, oh, Mathew, you are here. Guess what, bro? He came late. At the same came late. I will never forget, man. At the same came late. But anyway, so I was in the front seat, and they were like, there was a lady now who's now a good friend of mine. Her name is Kendi Ngola. Kendi Ngola was sitting next to me, and the waitress came and she ordered water. And the waitress came to me, excuse me, is there anything that I can get you? I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't have money on me. So I sat there minding my own business. So it was in that evening, the son came late, and the MC who's my uncle, which I didn't know about. His name is Michael Shikudula. Michael is my very, very good uncle. He was an MC, And that's where I came to meet with Gustav Hose. I met Nelson Matthews.
Okay.
I met Licious Mbayunjikwa. Man, I met so many people that
Like
night.
there were a lot of people, like those prominent people.
Yeah, like they were there, and I'm like, yo. And I still remember very well. There was a portrait behind me, and Nelson Matthews was like, you know what, young man, I see so much potential in you. Keep working on yourself. Keep working on yourself. So I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, man, dude, that evening, like the meeting ended very late. So Nelson Matthews ended up like giving me a lift.
Oh, like
yeah. And guess what? He gave me $50. So he gave me $50. I can never forget. He gave me $50.
Just like that.
Yeah. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Okay, so like whole different vibes. So yeah. And I'm totally grateful for meeting these guys, man, you know, because these guys are all part of PSAN. And as a young man who just started on your journey, you don't know where you are going, and you meet these guys who are like, you know what, we're going to mentor you. So through that now, so this guy, part of these guys were part of Toastmasters International, which is a non-profitable organization that trains people on the art and science of public speaking and how to become effective communicators, and they also teach people leadership skills as well. So through the process, I joined Toastmasters, but I was like 17 back then, so I couldn't be a member. So like for a whole year, I'll just attend meetings like a visitor, a guest. So in the process, I'm learning how the guys I saw in public speak eloquently in their training process. I learned the blunders, the mistakes that they were making. I learned their dressing codes, their communication styles, what they do, their jokes. You know, so I learned from these guys. I also met Harry as well.
Okay.
Funny guy. And like this guy is quite funny. People like him because of the jokes. So I also started improving on my jokes as well. So in the process of becoming a good public speaker. So and then at 10-18, so the fees were back then I think it was like 1.4, 1.6 for 6 months. And I didn't used to work, I didn't have any money. So I got one of the guys paid for me.
Oh, like one of the guys, like one of the mentors.
Yeah, one of my mentors paid for me.
Okay.
And when I saw Kucha, I was an official member. Yo, I went all in. Like I'll go through the manuals, I read the manuals, I'll deliver speeches left, right, center. So I would make mistakes. So what the beauty of Toastmasters is that it's more like a gym for public speakers. You know, so here I'm delivering a speech, and there's somebody evaluating how I'm delivering this speech, so that if I was to speak in front of people will be in awe because of how I deliver my speech, but not knowing that there's somebody who evaluated me, there's somebody who saw me before, who saw me first, and let's you know, notice you talk fast, calm down. You know, instead of saying this, you use this expression. You see what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So from there I joined Toastmasters, and then I got certified as a communicator through that. And then from there I became I used to volunteer, and then in Toastmasters as a student in arms. It's more like the usher, you know, I'll come earlier to the meetings to make sure that the place is clean, you know, the speakers are ready and stuff like that. But I'll also use the opportunities in Toastmasters to MC. So the MC in Toastmasters is called the Toastmaster, you know, or the director of proceedings. So this person is just to be the MC and stuff. So I'm like, you know what, since these guys can also do it, let me give it a shot. So the beauty of it was that they really embraced me, man, you know. So they saw I was making mistakes. So at the end they were like, okay, you know, earlier today you when you want to call people up, use this, say this, talk like this, you know. So even now I'm able to train other people because I got trained by the best as well, you know. So that's why most of my MC improvement also started in Toastmasters as well. So public speaking for me just started off like that, but also I had a past journey, and this journey ended up to me being where I am. I think it was time and chance as well, and also I cannot really say that I made it all by myself. I would say that part of this was also God's doings as well. Aligning, because you know, like I said, most part of my speaking started in church, where I had to be a Sunday school teacher, because remember I'm standing in front of kids and I had to talk. So part of it started in church. You know, in church we would give testimonies, we would sing. So I think the beauty of also singing in church is that you have to overcome your fear of stage fright or the fear of standing in front of people. So I remember like in church, like you would sing and then the keyboard player is not there, and the keyboard player is supposed to give me my key on how hard the song must be. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, the guy is not here, so I'll just go with the higher key, and then I'll end up not singing just how I'm supposed to sing, and the thing was just so chaotic. Again, the similar approach with public speaking. You're supposed to do a PowerPoint presentation, but the technical guy is not there. How do you go about it? How do you maneuver around it? So God was part of my journey as well, and I think I also developed a culture of consistently improving, because it's like a sense of consistency. So when I saw that I want to improve in public speaking, I aligned myself with things that had to do with public speaking. I had like friends. These are like friends. All when we met up, it's all about speaking, nothing more, nothing less, So in the process, I would just do that, I would talk and meet up with people who were better than me. When I mean better, in the sense of they started ahead of me. They know the game. They know how it's done. So I met up with this individual. So in the process, I also ended up meeting Senu Namwandi, who's a very dear friend of mine. And then also met Hermine Alao. With Hermine, she's more of a storyteller, and you go like, to be a storyteller, of not trying to portray a sense of I am perfect and I don't go through mistakes. What the beauty and what I love the most about Hermine is that she's very authentic and she's raw. Like her words are quite raw. But let me not forget that her English is polished. She knows her words. She's a wordsmith. She knows her words, And then also in the process, I also read books. I would watch videos on YouTube of people who are better than me, not who are actually in the game. So we have Vusit Mbekwayo, we have Les Brown, Jim Ron, Lisa Nichols, Oprah as well. Because speaking is just like music, So I had to learn. How to play a saxophone. So in speaking out, no, I don't mean like the actual thing. I don't mean like the actual saxophone. I mean like, so if I had to learn how to play a saxophone, I must go to people who know saxophones, people who play saxophones, So, but then in the process of knowing how to play a saxophone, I must also know a bit about music theory as well. The same applies with public speaking. Public speaking is a broad thing, and it's not just something you can learn in one day. It's a consistent. Even right now, I still learn. Okay, I'm talking fast. I need to calm down. I need to breathe when I'm talking. You see what I mean? So I learn. I pick up. I have like a variety of people who are in public speaking or who are public speakers, and I learn. I pick up about this guy when he talks fast, he's proving a point. And then this person when they're talking slow, they're trying to emphasize on their point, because both talking fast and talking slow, at the end you still end up proving a point, just depending on when you are using it and how you're using it, So Vusit Mbekwayo is the one, when it comes to talking fast, he's proving a point, And then we have Lisa Nichols on the other end, when she's talking slow, she is proving a point. You see what I mean? So again, I still learn from these guys. I read books as well, because with books also it also helps as a person who speaks in front of people to have a good vocabulary, to be well polished, to know when to talk.
Maybe can you just highlight like some of the talks that you gave, like that you really kind of enjoyed the board, just some of the highlights.
Yeah, it's quite hard to say. There was never a talk I never enjoyed, because every talk that I went to had like an impact on me. But I think the best talks that I enjoy the most, that I really enjoy the most, is the talks we have at the Patriotism Namibia session. So I'm part of a team I'm part of an organization called Patriotism Namibia, where I serve as the head of educational activities. So this camp we take like a group of 40 teenagers all over the country, and then we take them to an exquisite, luxurious place. So the last camp we had, we went to Etosha, Etosha Safari Camp. So I had a session where to talk about people skills. So I enjoy these ones because, they're just fun, man. The fact that they're outdoors, and I get to interact and also engage with my participants, which is amazing. But all the talks I had, I can't really say that there is never a talk I went to and I never enjoyed. So overall, all the talks that I went to, they were amazing. But the talks that I will never forget are the talks of when I started off. You know, how I really started off is that so in the junior council we got t-shirts, right? So I'll go to primary schools in Bento. No, my name is Mathew, I'm for the junior council. So I want a vision. I want a vision to motivate and inspire grade 7s to tell them about a high school life. So that was when after I matriculated from high school now. So I'll go to primary schools and I will talk to grade 7s and then tell them about the high school life. So to be honest, I didn't really know that this is gonna be an impact. It's gonna have an impact on who I am, because I was just talking for the sake of talking, but not knowing that in the process I was also overcoming my fear of standing in front of people, and that fear will never go away. Like even now, whenever I get a chance to speak in front of people, even now, like with Djuulume, we have to meet up, I'm like, oh wow, I called my sister, called me this morning, and like I told her I'm going to this thing, but I'm nervous. I feel like breaking out because it's just a thing. That fear will never go away. But with experience, you know, with experience, I still feel those butterflies. Like, I'm so nervous. But with experience, I still make those butterflies to fly information.
So you can just maybe because there are people out there, young people out there that maybe are wishing to be public speakers or just want to maybe to also create a career in that. So what can you say, or what can you, just something to motivate them?
Alright, so to the guys who wish or who aspire or who want to venture in the whole public speaking line, I would say that first thing first, there's this ideology or this mindset that public speakers are extroverts and people who are outspoken and stuff. Yes, but not always, you know. The fact that you're an introvert, it doesn't mean that you can't be a public speaker. You can be a public speaker. With proper training, you can be a public speaker, you know. And also, it's also a thing of it's a mindset thing as well. So you have to convince yourself, you have to affirm yourself that you are confident enough that you can stand in front of people. But you need training. You need to be trained on how to speak. It's possible because speaking is a skill that you can also obtain. You can gain that skill as well. So just like with any skill, you need to put hours and hours and hours into it. You know, there's a guy, James Clear, who wrote a book on atomic habits. He talks about how 1% habits results to having 100% results. You know, so you start small. You start with 1% habits that can help you to obtain or gain public speaking skills, and then eventually you'll be able to stand in front of people and speak with confidence. You know, and also you need to make it intentional. You know, you have to make it intentional, because sometimes along the way you end up feeling like, you know what, I don't want to continue with this anymore. I want to drop down. I don't feel like doing it anymore. This will align yourself with people who can improve, you know. Like spend time with people who are public speakers as well, because it's gonna rub off on you. Another advice that I can share is that you check. The thing is, you don't have to rah all the time. You don't have to be a good speaker. You don't have to be a good English speaker. You know, the thing is, as long as you are able to stand in front of people and convey a message to them and they get the message, you are good to go. You know, because it's this logic or this idea that public speakers have to rah and I want water type of thing, you know. So even if you are able to say learn instead of run, you'll be able to make people laugh, but your audience will be able to understand what you're trying to say. So so don't let that get into your head. So you don't have to rah all the time. As long as you're able to convey your message to people and the people are able to grasp what you are saying, you are good to go, you are fine. So in a nutshell, I would also say that spend time with people who are really good in public. I know I mentioned this before, but I want to put it in a very practical way. Like I remember I earlier said that, you know, I would watch videos of Vusitu Mbokwayo, Lisa Nichols and all these guys, because they're actually good when it comes to communicating. So they are good when it comes to communicating. So do the same thing as well. So how about the effect that this have is that when you consistently watch their videos, you end up picking up their patterns as well. So you see that Lisa Nichols, when she's emphasizing a point, she low. She goes low. She says, "I want water." Drink water. And then you're boosting on the other hand who speaks fast to emphasize a point. You see what I mean? So make it an intentional decision to say that, you know what, today I'm going to listen to Vusi Temkwaya talk. And then when he's talking, you don't need to listen to what he's talking about. Your goal is listen to how he's talking about what he's talking about. Okay. So it's how he's talking about is what he's talking about. So you see, when he's talking, he moves like this, he does this, he does this. So also, do not try to copy them. It's more like making a milkshake or a smoothie. So you have like your bananas, you have your apples, and you take a blender. You put them together, you spin them, and then you end up having your own smoothie. So create your own smoothie that is suitable for you. Some people prefer smoothies with vegetables and stuff like that. Some people prefer smoothies that are sweet. Smoothies with apples and bananas and stuff. So create your own preference, create your own identity. Do not aim to be like somebody because it's going to drain you. So hence I'm saying that don't try to be like them, but see what they do so that you can see if it's going to work for you. And if it's not, please be honest with yourself and just drop it. So I think with that said, public speaking is a beautiful journey. And anybody and anybody can be a public speaker if they really, really, really want to be a public speaker.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much, Mathew, for coming, for just responding to our call, for having you here. It was really amazing. Yes. So thank you so much.
You're most welcome, Sandy. Thank you everybody for making time to watch us. Cheers.
So thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and then you share the video. So see you next time. Yep.